My friends, we gather today at a moment filled with both promise and peril. We stand at a crossroads of history where the road behind us is marked by struggle, sacrifice, and courage, and the road ahead is uncertain, demanding clarity, commitment, and conscience. And so we must ask the urgent and unavoidable question: where do we go from here? This question is not merely philosophical, it is practical, it is moral, it is deeply human. For every generation must decide whether it will move forward together or drift apart, whether it will choose justice over comfort, and whether it will allow fear to silence hope. We cannot ask where we are going unless we are honest about where we have been. Progress has been made. Doors once locked have been opened. Voices once ignored have been heard, and rights once denied have been written into law. But progress does not mean completion. Victories do not erase unfinished work. And change on paper does not always mean change in practice. Too often we confuse the absence of open cruelty with the presence of true justice. Too often we mistake quiet streets for peaceful hearts. And too often we celebrate small steps while ignoring the long road still ahead. So where do we go from here? First, we must go forward with truth. Truth is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. It tells us that inequality still casts a long shadow, that opportunity is not evenly distributed, and that too many lives are limited not by lack of talent, but by lack of access. Truth tells us that indifference can be as destructive as hatred, and silence can be as harmful as violence. We must have the courage to tell the truth about poverty that dehumanizes, about prejudice that divides, and about systems that reward some while restraining others. For without truth, there can be no reconciliation, and without reconciliation, there can be no lasting peace. Second, we must go forward together. History has taught us that progress is never achieved by isolated individuals alone. It is achieved when ordinary people unite around extraordinary principles. We are bound together in a single fabric of destiny. What affects one community ultimately affects all communities. What weakens one group weakens the whole. We must reject the lie that says we are enemies because of our differences. Difference is not a threat, it is a resource. Our varied backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences, when guided by mutual respect, can become the foundation of a stronger, wiser society. Unity does not require uniformity. It requires understanding, it requires listening, and it requires the humility to recognize that no group holds a monopoly on truth. Third, we must go forward with justice, not just charity. Charity may ease the pain of the moment, but justice removes the cause of the pain. It is not enough to offer temporary relief while ignoring permanent solutions. It is not enough to applaud generosity while tolerating inequality. Justice demands fair wages for honest work. It demands education that prepares every child to thrive. It demands health care that treats human life as sacred, not optional. And it demands laws that protect the vulnerable, not merely the powerful. A society is not measured by how much it produces, but by how it treats those who have the least. Any nation that spends more on convenience than on compassion risks losing its moral direction. Fourth, we must go forward without violence, without hatred, and without despair. Violence may promise quick results, but it leaves lasting wounds. Hatred may feel powerful, but it ultimately consumes the one who carries it. Despair may seem realistic, but it is the enemy of change. Nonviolence is not weakness. It is disciplined strength. It is the refusal to let injustice turn us into mirrors of the very wrongs we oppose. It is the choice to fight for dignity without destroying our own. And even in the face of setbacks, we must not surrender hope. Hope is not naive optimism. It is the belief that tomorrow can be better if we are willing to work for it today. Hope is the fuel that keeps movements alive when progress feels slow and resistance feels strong. Finally, we must go forward with responsibility. The future is not shaped only by leaders, courts, or institutions. It is shaped by citizens. It is shaped by the choices we make every day, to speak or stay silent, to act or look away, to build or to divide. Each of us has a role to play. Each of us carries influence, however small it may seem. And when ordinary people commit themselves to doing what is right, history bends, not by accident, but by effort. So where do we go from here? We go forward with courage instead of fear, with justice instead of convenience, with unity instead of division, with hope instead of despair. The road ahead will not be easy, but it is necessary. And if we walk it together, guided by truth, strengthened by love, and committed to justice, we will not only reach a better future, we will deserve it. Let us go forward, not merely asking what the world can be, but committing ourselves to make it so. Thank you.